Was politics being played with terror? Was national security being sacrificed at the altar of political gains? There are some very uncomfortable questions that need to be answered. A military court of inquiry concluded that Lieutenant Colonel Prasad Purohit had no access to RDX, a serious charge leveled against him by the Maharashtra Anti-Terror Squad, which slapped Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Act of Makoka against the officer. Anand Patel brings us this India Today national exclusive.
Though he was posted there in Srinagar for a while, but he was not associated in handling of RDX. We were told to push the case fast.
Lieutenant Colonel Purohit had no access to RDX. Maharashtra Anti-Terror Squad, led by Hemant Karkare, had no corroborative evidence to back up the RDX claim. Was Lieutenant Colonel Purohit framed in a false case? Was the case politically motivated? Why was Purohit charged under the Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Act? Explosive revelations by Brigadier Rajkumar, then Deputy Director General Military Intelligence at Army Headquarters, raises some damning questions. The military court of inquiry found no evidence of Lieutenant Colonel Purohit having access to RDX during his stint in Jammu and Kashmir. Neither the Intelligence Bureau nor the Army found any direct evidence linking Lieutenant Colonel Purohit to the case, claims Brigadier Rajkumar.
We have threadbare gone into the details about this case. The RDX, since Army is very sensitive to this particular allegation. I had written that time to the Northern Command based in Udhampur to ascertain his postings and if he had any access to RDX, which they told us that at no stage Purohit was, though he was posted there in Srinagar for a while, but he was not associated in handling of RDX. It is given only to very, very selected people for a particular operation, not to everyone.
The former brigadier's chilling revelations not only put the Manmohan Singh government in the dock, but have also raised questions about the army reportedly buckling under political pressure.
I don't know the working of police, but certainly while at Army Headquarters, since the elections were due, so we were told to push the case fast. Sure, we were told to hasten the case and reach some conclusion before the elections. But we stood by our idea because this is a very sensitive case. We had so many people to question, so many people to talk to about the case, who are located at so many places, Mumbai, Pune, Bhopal, Faridabad, and all over the countryside.
Brigadier Rajkumar's revelations have come as a shot in the arm for Aparna Purohit, campaigning relentlessly for the past 9 years to prove her husband's innocence.
The way he was handed over on a different FIR, not on the Malegaon FIR, he was arrested based on the FIR of forgery, and he was not allowed to report to his unit. So with all this, I feel it is quite a suspicious, all this becomes very suspicious about the way, things went on at that time.
This fresh twist in the Malegaon Blast Case has once again raised uncomfortable questions about the saffron terror bogey being desperately peddled by vested interests. With Anand Patel in Delhi and Pankaj Khelkar in Pune. Bureau Report, India Today. Joining me now on the broadcast is Sambit Patra, spokesperson for the BJP. Also with me is Priyanka Chaturvedi, spokesperson of the Congress party. But I want to come to you, Sambit Patra. The government only said that it wanted to hasten the investigation, according to Brigadier Rajkumar. That in no way implicates the UPA government.
No, it just does not say that they wanted to hasten the investigation. It probably says that they wanted to hasten the investigation because the elections were near. So that speaks volumes. And remember, they were trying to manufacture a narrative of Hindu terrorism which never existed. Secondly, and extremely importantly, these 25 pages, the verdict of the Supreme Court, the one who goes from page number 13 to page number 25 would realize as to how the Supreme Court had casted aspersions on the intentions of the investigative authority. There were contradictory statements between the ATS and the NIA. And the irony is, how did the RDX find its way? Even the Supreme Court says that it appears prima facie now that the RDX was planted by the ATS, one sub-inspector, Mr. Bagde, at the residence of Sudhindra Kulkarni. I mean, the question is, why would the ATS plant the RDX? Who was the political master who was guiding the ATS to plant the RDX?
This needs an answer. Was this politically motivated? Slapping Maharashtra controlled of organized crime back to Makoka and an army officer. It did not stand in a court of law.
Firstly, firstly, Gaurav, I wouldn't want to preempt the NIA investigation. The trial hasn't even begun and we are already talking about various theories. Let's step back a little. Are we today questioning the NIA? We are questioning the ATS. We are questioning the Director General of Military Intelligence. I just want to quote a report from the Director General of Military Intelligence, which was signed by a Major General, which categorically went on to say the inquiry concluded that the officer is highly indoctrinated, deals with illegal proliferation of weapons and hiding facts. The inquiry report also said that his wife Aparna Purohit revealed that her husband has deep hatred for Islam and he may be involved in activities directed against them. I wouldn't want to preempt any investigation, but I will also not be willing to sit here in some court of inquiry held on a television channel which talks about political influence. Are we today saying that NIA was politically influenced? We are saying ATS headed by Hemant Karkare was politically influenced. We are saying this entire DGMI report is politically influenced just because some brigadier comes and makes a comment on this.
No, not just
let NIA handle the investigation, let the trial begin and let the courts decide. What role did that brigadier play, Anand?
Well, you see, the Brigadier Rajkumar, he was the nodal officer appointed by the army headquarters to oversee the entire investigation which was carried out since an army officer in uniform was accused in the case. And Brigadier Rajkumar has disclosed us that how Colonel Purohit kept his officers in loop when he was going out for all these meetings. He attended different meetings of the Abhinav Bharat, but he also kept his officers in loop. This very fact was at some point of time during the inquiry was lost. And that's the reason why he paid so much.
Okay, no, but Priyanka Chaturvedi, the more important point is that the Army Court of Inquiry, it said that it went into these allegations threadbare and the officer had no access to RDX. The officer had no access to RDX, madam.
And Bhaiya ji, by this very person, Colonel Purohit, that they are coming and talking about. So this entire, conspiracy that's coming from the RSS also needs to be probed. They had written a letter to Prime Minister Manmohan Singh.
Okay, so
the entire dichotomy that exists.
Please, I think Priyanka Chaturvedi should not be in such a hurry to prove the Hindus as terrorists. He should be debating on the facts of merits over here. Number one, extremely essentially, Priyanka may be having certain documents which she is reading out. The irony is, for 8.5 long years, even the Supreme Court was astonished. If you had all these facts, why no charge sheet? Why a man was behind bar without a charge sheet? Why the Makoka at the first place? And then you had to take back the Makoka because you had no iota of evidence. Thirdly, and extremely importantly, the Supreme Court also came down heavily, saying that witness number 53 was coerced, threatened to give the kind of conspiracy theory that was implicating Colonel Purohit. The irony is, this witness number 53 had gone to the Human Rights Commission in 2009. It was a period when the Congress was in regime both in Maharashtra as well as in centre, and had complained that he was threatened and coerced to give the kind of disposition that he was giving in the court of law. The irony is, the whole political system then was conspiring just in order to see to it that this term saffron terror floats.
That's a very serious charge you're leveling, sir. Priyanka Chaturvedi, respond to this. It is being alleged that saffron terror was the motive. Purohit perhaps became a victim, Priyanka Chaturvedi. Okay, I'll try and fix that line with Priyanka Chaturvedi in just a moment. But Anand, Okay, Priyanka, I think I have Priyanka Chaturvedi back. Priyanka Chaturvedi, Sambit Patra says all of this was done with a motive before elections to float the bogey of saffron terror, madam. Okay, I'll just take a moment and reestablish that line. But Anand, what is significant is that Brigadier Rajkumar in this report says that there was no evidence that the army officer had access to RDX. So Northern Command told Army Headquarters that the officer had no access to RDX, which was perhaps the principal charge against him, that he provided the RDX for the terror attacks.
You know, the entire case which the Maharashtra ATS built around him, that making him a key accused, that he was the one, since he was a serving officer, he had access to RDX. But when Brigadier Rajkumar carried out an investigation, a detailed investigation, he wrote to the Northern Command in Udhampur asking them if Colonel Purohit had any point of time during his service in Jammu and Kashmir had any access to RDX. But the reply which Brigadier Rajkumar got from the Udhampur headquarters was that though he was posted in Srinagar for a while, but as an army officer from the intelligence corps, he didn't have any access to RDX, which was a clinching evidence in favor of Colonel Purohit in the court of inquiry.
Priyanka Chaturvedi, respond to this. It's that main case was he provided RDX for the blast and he had no access to RDX, says this army report. Priyanka, if you can hear me. Priyanka, can you hear me?
नहीं फिर से गया.
Okay, we will try and reestablish that line. Okay, you wanted to come in, Sambit?
See, the very important and the moot point was, if you are conspiring in a terrorist activity, then naturally you would not be giving out this conspiracy to your superior bosses. Over here, the ROI, that's the report of inquiry, which was established by the army itself, mentions that Colonel Purohit was reporting to the superior officers of the daily activities as a mode in various organizations. So definitely that itself speaks volumes. The irony is, this was not submitted in the court of the law for all these years. Why is the question? Why was this not submitted? This ROI report was not produced in the front of the legal system. That it was produced this time, we have seen what was the result. So it was in fact a conspiracy by the Congress party, I would say, just to manufacture an issue which never existed. The prime aim, I repeat again and again, was to coin this term saffron terror, and that's why everything was coinciding. Remember Sushil Kumar Sindhe talking of saffron terrorism. Remember Chidambaram floating this term saffron terrorism. It was all to appease, and that's why the word election is extremely important.
Brigadier Rajkumar joins me on the broadcast. Brigadier Rajkumar, you said that there was pressure to hasten the inquiry. What was the pressure? Why was there a pressure, sir?
No, we were told that elections are in the very near future, and we must try and hasten the court of inquiry and wind it up earlier. To which we didn't come to any pressure. We took our own time to investigate because we had our own system of carrying out court of inquiry, which involved lots of ground checks. There was no pressure thereafter, except that we were told at one stage that please try and wind up the court of inquiry earlier as the elections were in.
Sir, stay with me for a moment. We are hoping you'll be able to join us. Priyanka Chaturvedi, the army's inquiry found that Colonel Purohit had no access to RDX, which was the principal charge against him, that he provided RDX for the terror attacks. The army concluded he had no access to RDX in Jammu and Kashmir.
See, Gaurav, I wasn't connected to you for past 10 minutes, so I don't know what was heard about the entire question that was asked of me. What was till when I got disconnected, I don't really know. So, and I do not even know what Sambit had to say after what I've spoken. So your question with regards to this is all I'd like to mention here is we are treading a dangerous path if we continue to mix politics with what is happening right now. The trial hasn't begun. The colonel is out on bail. The trial has to begin. NIA says that they have foolproof evidence to ensure that Colonel Purohit's role in the entire blast is proven. So I think we must give our intelligence agencies, our NIA, enough room space and enough freedom to be able to make this case reach its logical conclusion. For better or worse, for Colonel Purohit is something that the courts will decide. However, what I find extremely disturbing is where the trial hasn't begun. We are already talking about conspiracy theories and political pressure.
Theories in 2009 as alleged by the Brigadier.
Army,
conspiracy theories in 2009,
to
not
Major
in 2017.
General, to NIA, to Intelligence Bureau, to our ATS squad, to Shri Hemant Karkare, who unfortunately is no longer with us, who died in a terror attack. So these kind of finger pointing needs to stop, and this kind of pressure on investigation when the trial hasn't even begun needs to come to an end. Whatever conclusion should be drawn will happen once the trial begins and the evidence is presented in the court of law.
But the officer was in jail for 9 years, madam.
Without a charge sheet. Without a charge sheet. Remember, without a charge sheet.
Okay, Sambit Patra, you wanted to respond.
No, there was a charge sheet. There was an ATS charge sheet, which was contradicted by NIA. Do not
where the Supreme Court categorically mentions that the ATS and the NIA are contradicting each other. Anyway, let me come to the point.
Felt it was necessary to write to Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, saying that Colonel Purohit was also conspiring to kill Mohan Bhagwat.
Okay.
This is also something.
Number two,
no, I'm not speaking over. I'm just trying to tell you that there are basic facts.
Thank you. I've got your point. Let me answer you.
I'm just bringing those facts in public domain.
Okay, let me answer you. When such was the affair, remember in page number 18 of this verdict, the Supreme Court goes ahead to connect the dots of RDX and Samjhauta Blast as well. Though we are discussing about Malegaon Blast, RDX and Samjhauta Blast and Colonel Purohit were also connected in the Supreme Court's verdict. And the irony is that in Samjhauta Blast case, not only the United Nations Sanction Committee, but the United States as well, Treasury benches of United States and Pakistan, all three saying that it was Pakistan, Arif Kasmani, who was responsible for Samjhauta Blast, and David Headley's wife, Atullah Faizullah, also saying that it was her husband, David Headley, in connivance with Arif Kasmani, who was responsible, and Congress government submitting a dossier to Pakistan through Mr. K.C. Singh, if I remember, he was ambassador then, that Pakistan is responsible. 2 men of Pakistan caught. They were left after 14 days without investigation, and here they produced the saffron terror boogie by arresting
so
other
you're saying
people.
Saffron terror is a boogie?
No, exactly, it was a boogie. They let go 2 Pakistanis within 14 days, and they allow an Indian to languish in jail for 9 months just because Sonia ji and Rahul ji had to prove this point that RSS is more dangerous and Hindus are more dangerous than Simi. Remember the ambassador, US ambassador and RSS WikiLeaks?
No, I'm sorry, your own RSS believed that Lieutenant Colonel Purohit was trying to hatch a conspiracy to kill Mohan Bhagwat. So please do not bring RSS into your,
that was the conspiracy, why were you not filing a charge sheet for all these years?
They themselves wrote to Prime Minister Manmohan Singh.
If this is what was the conspiracy, so why were you not filing the charge sheet? You are trying to protect someone.
And trying to even deny the entire DGMI report signed by a Major General.
Are you denying the Supreme Court of this country?
The investigation held by
you are denying the Supreme Court of this country when the Supreme Court comes up with a verdict saying that the RDX appears to be planted by the ATS. Are you denying the Supreme Court of this country?
Colonel Purohit was hatching a conspiracy. Trying to this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Actually brings me to the point that whether in 2009 or in 2017,
which doesn't exist, and you're trying to do the job of NIA here.
2009 or 2017, one message is clear, that there should never be politics with terror. Never ever should anyone play politics with terror, because there is enemy at the gates, and what we must realize that there is the enemy within. Even as we speak, terrorists have struck the security forces in Kashmir, in Pantha Chowk, and the latest that we are getting is that one police officer has been martyred in this terror attack. So there is enemy at the gates, there is a very hostile Pakistan, and look at these images, that enemy within who is striking us so desperately. The CRPF has now rushed to this incident spot where this terror attack has taken place. What we'll also tell you at this point of time, that in a Mendar, there's been a ceasefire violation where another security forces personnel has been killed in ceasefire violations. While this country plays politics with terror, there is clear and present danger that we unfortunately choose to ignore. And one sincerely hopes, whether it's the Congress or the BJP, our entire political leadership in this country will adopt a bipartisan approach to deal with terror and keep India first. That is all I have time for on this special broadcast. Many thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.